Picture this. You haven't committed a crime. You don't owe anyone money. Your job is stable. You even have savings. You just try to rent an apartment. The landlord smiles, puts the keys back in their pocket, like they're refunding your takeout. Sorry, your credit score isn't high enough. You apply for a car loan. The salesperson sounds almost congratulatory. Good news, you're approved. Bad news, your interest rate is the expensive kind. You interview for a job. HR's tone suddenly turns cold. No explanation, no debate, just one line. We decided to move forward with other candidates. Welcome to the most absurd trial in modern life. The judge isn't a person. The evidence isn't the truth. The verdict is just 3 digits, your credit score. And here's the scary part. That report can affect your loan rates, credit approvals, rental applications, and sometimes even hiring decisions. It's treated like a consumer report. And in certain legal contexts, people can pull it. But I'm not here to say credit scores matter. That's obvious. I'm here to say something sharper. A credit score is not a morality score. It's not even a test of how much money you have. At its core, it's a business model asking one brutal question. Can this person reliably send money into the financial system for a long time? In other words, it's not measuring honesty. It's measuring profitability. And the lie that gets people to accept it is simple enough to fit on a billboard. Pay on time, and you'll be rewarded. Sounds like virtue. But in this system, virtue means something very different than you think. Now, cut the music. Rewind. Because that life access pass in your pocket, it wasn't issued by the government. It was built as a product. Let's explain it like you're 5. Imagine 3 extremely nosy data aunties who never forget anything. Every time you open a card, take a loan, pay late, pay on time, miss a bill, get sent to collections, they write it down. Then they sell your behavior notebook to banks, insurers, landlords, sometimes even employers. Because under certain legally allowed purposes, your consumer report can be used to judge whether you're safe. And then another character shows up, the scoring model. It takes a thick book, the story of who you are, and compresses it into one number. That's like taking a full movie, cutting it into a 3-second trailer, and then saying, "Yep, I totally understand the whole film." Even more ridiculous? Different agencies can hold different versions of you. Data gets reported differently, updated differently, matched differently. So the same person, on the same day, can have multiple yous. You ask, which one is real? The system shrugs. Depends which machine your life bumps into. That also explains a classic question. I never spend irresponsibly. So why isn't my credit score high? Because the system isn't rewarding being frugal. It's rewarding being predictable. Now we hit the core. How exactly does this system turn you into 3 digits? Most people assume the logic is, this person doesn't owe money. This person is safe. Give them a high score. That sounds like common sense, right? But credit scoring doesn't serve common sense. It serves profit. In a typical FICO-style framework, the score is built from 5 major categories: payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit, and credit mix. Now, kindergarten translation. First, do you follow the rules? Payment history. Pay late once, and the machine remembers longer than your ex. Second, how heavy is your debt backpack? Amounts owed. Too heavy, and you look risky. But here's the twist. Too light, and the system can't read you. Because if you never use credit, you don't generate enough evidence for the machine to predict you. Yes, it's absurd. People who avoid debt can look like unknown files. Third, how long have you been playing this game? Length of history. New players are always treated as unknown. And in finance, unknown has one translation: expensive. Fourth, are you suddenly desperate? New credit, inquiries. Apply for a bunch of accounts quickly and the system gets nervous. Fifth, have you played different debt levels? Credit mix. Cards, auto loans, mortgages. The more you look like an experienced debt user, the more comfortable the system feels. Now pause. Did you catch the reversal? A credit score is not rewarding clean living. It's often rewarding a behavior pattern. You use debt, and you do it in a stable, predictable, long-term way. That's why reality can look insane. Someone who carries balances and pays the minimum can still look active and trackable. While someone who uses only debit cards and never borrows can look like a blank page. The system isn't asking if you're a good person. It's asking, are you a good customer? So, who actually wins in this system? That's where the story turns sharper. Here's the truth. The biggest scam feeling isn't that credit scoring is some cartoon conspiracy. It's that a pricing tool gets dressed up like a moral lesson. High score? Responsible. Low score? You didn't try hard enough. That's the story they sell. But the reality is pricing. Your score can influence the interest rate you get, the terms you get, the deposit you're asked for. And those prices can shape the speed of your entire life. That creates one of the cruelest loops in modern society. The less money you have, the more you need credit. The more you need credit, the more expensive it becomes. And the more expensive it becomes, the harder it is to escape. And here's the darker part. The system isn't always accurate. It depends on reporting, matching, updating, dispute processes, which means errors can stick to you like glue. When you try to fix them, it can feel like arguing with a vending machine. You explain, you prove, you plead, and it spits out a cold message. Dispute received. So here are 3 knives. No motivational quotes, just practical moves. First, don't worship the score. Read the report. The score is the thermometer. The report is the lab test. Second, if you see an error, dispute it immediately. In the financial world, default equals verdict. Third, treat a credit freeze like a deadbolt for your identity. It won't make you rich, but it can save you from the nightmare. Identity theft, score collapse, months of life wasted repairing your name. Now you might ask, so should I start pleasing the system? Opening cards, splitting payments, playing score games? Careful. That question is exactly what the system wants you to misunderstand. Because its real power isn't making you freer, it's making you predictable. And here's the cliffhanger. Because credit scores aren't the end of the story. Today, we talked about scoring based mostly on borrowing behavior. But the next generation of scoring wants more than your loans. It wants your life. Rent, utilities, phone bills, subscriptions, your entire pattern of on-time payments. So the future won't be about whether you borrowed. It'll be about whether you behave like a perfectly programmable payer. And if you think credit scores are scary now, the next episode is even worse. Because it looks like building a future, but it can trap you for decades. Student debt trap, explained like you're 5. Why does a loan that's supposed to help your future end up owning it? If you want the truth, subscribe. Because the later you understand the system, the sooner it will price you.